There are a lot of swordsmen in the One Piece world. Some of them good, some of them great, but only a select few of them have managed to rank themselves among the best fighters in all of One Piece. And among these champions, among these gods, lies Hawkeye Mihawk and Silver's Rayleigh, some of the best swordsmen to ever grace us with their presence. But that's the question today, guys. If these two were to fight, who wins? Well, in order to figure that out, we're going to have to talk about their physical attributes. Now, I'm not going to be talking about everything. I'm only going to be talking about what I think is important for this fight. And that's going to be strength, speed, and endurance/durability. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So to me, without a doubt, Mihawk is definitely stronger than Rayleigh. Now, the reason I feel this way is because of his capability to fight Zoro with that tiny little dagger and just throw him around. Now, I know this version of Zoro isn't the strongest, obviously, but this version of Zoro is still incredibly strong. He's far above regular people, and I personally think that the fact that Mihawk was able to block all of his attacks and throw him around with that tiny dagger, absolutely ridiculous. But that's not it. I also think because he was capable of fighting Shanks, who was capable of clashing with somebody like Whitebeard, who is widely considered to be the strongest man alive, I think that just speaks volumes to Mihawk's strength, and frankly, I think that puts him above Rayleigh. Now, as far as their endurance goes, I don't know really how to quantify their endurance. We do know that Rayleigh with the Roger Pirates was able to fight the Whitebeard Pirates on an island for days. I believe it was 3 days. So, I mean, as far as endurance goes, I would say that they're fairly similar because vice versa, Shanks was capable of fighting, Mihawk was capable of fighting Shanks, and typically in One Piece, we know how the fights with stronger people go, like Aokiji and Akainu, they fought for 10 days on Punk Hazard, so I think it's safe to assume that their fight could have lasted anywhere from 3 days to a week, so, I think that their durability and endurance are going to be equal, but it's hard to tell just because, like I said, we haven't actually seen either of them get pushed to their limit. And, Rayleigh has scars on his body, but we've never actually seen him get hurt and what he does in response to it. So, for the purposes of this fight, we're just going to assume that their endurance and durability are relative to each other, just so we can press on. But now it's time for the bread and butter of the fight, or at least what I think is going to really make the difference, and that is hockey. So, there are 3 versions of hockey. You guys know this if you watch the show: observation, armament, and conquerors. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. I'm giving observation hockey to Mihawk. Simply because it's stated that somebody with his eyes has advanced observation hockey and is known to, and then also simply because he's capable of, I hate saying this over and over again, but he was capable of fighting Shanks, who is a master of all 3 versions of hockey, and according to, our better knowledge, he did beat Shanks, so I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that his observation's top notch. Now, that being said, I'm giving conquerors to Rayleigh. Simply because we know Rayleigh has conquerors, and Mihawk isn't stated to have conquerors, and we don't know if he does or doesn't. Now, that being said, I do want to say something. It's probably fair to say that Mihawk might have something along the lines of Zoro in his 9 sword style, where he's able to kind of imbue his aura into his attacks as a form of like a conqueror's hockey. We know Zoro does this, right? So it's safe to assume that Mihawk maybe has something along these lines, but once again, I am going to be giving conquerors to Rayleigh. And also, that being said, I'm giving armament to Rayleigh as well. Now, the reason I'm giving armament to Rayleigh is simply because, he's got more experience fighting with it. I actually think that their armament is probably equal, if anything, since it's a testament of your will. I'd say that they're both incredibly strong-willed, but I'd still give it to Rayleigh simply because he's got more experience using armament hockey because, he was a pirate. He was Roger's right-hand man. They were fighting other pirates and marines all the time, whereas Mihawk really just kind of sails around and he only fights when he really wants to. He's never really forced into a fight like Rayleigh is. But yeah, I'm giving armament to Rayleigh. Alright, guys. With all that being said, though, there's something that needs to be asked. I mean, we've talked about their physical attributes, we've talked about their strength, we've talked about their speed, we talked about their endurance and their durability, and we've talked about their hockey, observation, conquerors, armament. You know, we've seen at least who has what, and for what reasons. But the question still remains: who wins? Now, if you ask me, I'm giving it to Rayleigh. Now, the reason I'm giving it to Rayleigh, because this fight could honestly go either way. I'm giving it to Rayleigh for his speed, his better hockey, and his experience. Now, I am talking about a younger Rayleigh, guys. I don't want you guys to think I'm talking about older Rayleigh, but even younger prime Rayleigh was much more experienced than Mihawk, because like I said, he was a pirate. He was fighting every day, you know, Marines and pirates alike, whereas Mihawk kind of had the luxury to fight when he wanted to. Rayleigh was a lot of the times pushed into fights with Roger and his crew. But yeah, like I said, this fight really could go either way. And I know I said that Mihawk was stronger than Rayleigh, which he is, but I think it's that you can match strength with armament hockey and conquerors hockey. And most notably, we see this with Kaido versus Luffy and Roger versus Whitebeard. Clearly, Kaido and Whitebeard are much stronger physically than Roger and Luffy, but because Roger and Luffy are using advanced conquerors and armament, they're able to match that strength. And obviously in contention, you can't do the same thing with observation and speed. We've seen that even if you can see the attacks coming, if you don't have the physical speed to dodge them, you're going to get hit. We've seen that with Luffy versus Katakuri and Luffy versus Kaido. So unfortunately, guys, I am giving this one to Rayleigh. Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. You know, these videos do take a little bit longer to make, but I really enjoy making them, and obviously, you know, I get good feedback from you guys. But yeah, you know, tell me if you agreed with my analysis in the comments below. Just let me know how you feel. But yeah, guys, you know, it's been your boy SSTSG, Sam Smith, the Superior Gamer. I hope everybody has a great day or night, depending on when you're watching this. Don't forget to tell somebody you love them, you appreciate them, you care about them. However you express love, make sure you express it to the people you care about. And other than that, guys, peace out.